Praise the Lord, everybody. This is the first part of my Easter message. This is Easter weekend, or what I like to call Resurrection Sunday weekend. I'm going to break this into two different messages this week. The first message I would like to title, Jesus is Truly Divine. I would like to take my base text from the Gospel of Mark in chapter 15. And we're looking at verse 37 through 39. And Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. And the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And when the centurion which stood over against him saw that he so cried out, gave up the ghost, he said, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." During Jesus' life and ministry, many Jews, they did not get the picture of who Jesus really was. They were clueless to his divine nature. I mean, Jesus healed the sick, he raised the dead, he cast out demons, he even fulfilled prophecies. He was born of a virgin as prophesied in Isaiah 7:14. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. And that can be found in Matthew chapter 1 verse 21. And his imprisonment and his afflictions, they were prophesied in Isaiah 53 verse 5 and 7. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. He even rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, as prophesied in the minor prophet Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 9. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon a donkey, and upon a colt, the foal of a donkey. His divine presence, it was even revealed at his baptism, and in Mark chapter 9, when he was transfigured on the mountain in front of Peter, James, and John. Those three disciples, they had a first-hand experience of Jesus' divine nature. They had to be stupid to not get that Jesus was the Son of God. Many Jews, they saw him as a prophet, a miracle worker, a fraud, a troublemaker, a blasphemer. They were blind to the real picture of who Jesus really was. They still did not get a clue who he really was. They did not know what his divine nature was. There are three accounts of Jesus' death on Calvary I want to look at. I'm going to start with Mark, then Matthew, then Luke. All of these concern the Roman centurion who oversaw Jesus' death. When Jesus cried out and gave up the ghost, things happened. Going to, as I said in Mark 15, the veil between the Holy of Holies and the holy place was torn from the top to bottom, and the Roman centurion said Jesus was truly the Son of God. In Matthew 27:50 through 54. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. Behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurions and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, They feared greatly, saying, "Truly this was the Son of God." So the veil was torn, the earth shook, and the graves of the saints were opened and resurrected when Jesus was resurrected. The Roman centurion trembled and said that Jesus was the Son of God. And then there's Luke 23. And we're looking at verse 44 through 47. And it was about the 6th hour. There was a darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Jesus had cried with a loud voice, he said, "Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit." Having said thus, he gave up the ghost. Now when the centurion saw what was done, he glorified God, saying, "Certainly this was a righteous man," which goes along with divine. So there was darkness on earth at the 6th hour, in other words, noon. The veil was torn, and the Roman centurions said that Jesus was truly righteous. The Roman centurion saw how Jesus died differently from others who have been crucified. I mean, he just died. Usually, those who were crucified, they would lose consciousness for a while and die. But Jesus yielded up the spirit and died. The priests, they were setting up the temple for the evening sacrifice when the veil was torn. They saw it happen. When the veil was torn, it represented that the gap between us and God has been filled. The gap that sin caused between us and God, it's been filled. I personally just see something really important about the Roman centurion confessing Jesus' divine nature. He was a pagan Gentile. He worshipped the Roman gods. He did not know the God of Israel. He was right there on Calvary as Jesus gave up the ghost, and when the earth shook and the earth turned dark at the noon hour, something was going on. I mean, I've seen movies where when people died, and it would begin raining, but this was above all else. So, I mean, the Roman centurion, he must be stupid if he did not get the picture that Jesus is truly divine. He's not like other saints. He's not like other people. He's the Son of God. He's God. He's just divine. There was something special about the Roman centurion's confession, as if he did not know what was going on, but he confessed. It is unknown if the centurion forsook the Roman gods and God says that he used to worship and converted to early Christianity, but his first-hand account on Calvary, I just gotta wonder, did something happen there? Did it affect his faith somehow? Just imagine how it took Jesus' death on Calvary to wake the Jews up, so that they would know that he was Son of God, that he was divine. It took the cross on Calvary for many to get the picture of who Jesus really was. And I'm going to end this message right now. I want to do a follow-up in the next message. I'm talking about Jesus' resurrection. So stay tuned for part 2, and God bless, and have a happy Resurrection Sunday.